Hello, guys and girls. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I asked people to give me some questions if you had any for me to answer. I hadn't done a like a little Q&A video in a while. Um, I do like a Q&A on Facebook every now and then, I guess. Usually when I'm bored, but figured I haven't made a video for one in a while, so just maybe like 20 or so questions I got on here since last night, so I figured I'll answer as many of them as I can. Let's see. Alex Schuer, I don't know if that's how you say your name, says, what band would you love to see that isn't together or touring anymore? I always wanted to see Thrice. I never did. As far as I know, they're on hiatus right now. There's a lot of bands I've always wanted to see, but they're foreign or just from overseas that almost never come over here because there's not a big demand for them. One of my favorite metal bands, Gravedigger, has maybe come to the United States like 2 or 3 times, and I've never been able to see them. I always wanted to see The Living End again because I saw them open for Blink-182 back in 2004, and that was before I even knew who they were. And that's what actually got me into them. So I never actually saw them when I knew any of the songs. Fucking fly. So I guess that's my answer for that one. Eric Legacy, who I actually know, says, I don't know if this was asked already, but what was your original inspiration for learning how to play guitar? I always liked music from a really early age. My dad played drums. My grandfather played guitar. My great-grandfather played guitar. And then, but I was never really around them all that much, except for my dad. And then I was at my friend Ben's house one day, and he had a guitar. He didn't know how to play, but he had one, and I was just messing around with it, and I thought it felt really cool. It looked really cool. So I think later that year is when I asked for one. And I was actually maybe like a year or so after I started listening to Blink and Blink type bands, Sum 41, Newfound Glory, and I just loved the catchy little riffs, and it just made me want to play. So that was always that definitely made me want to play. So Timmy London says, do you listen to YouTube bands, music, or unfound bands? Not really. I mean, I posted a cover late or pretty recently of Heroes for Tonight. They're more or less unknown. They're really cool. I listen to their full-length CD every now and then. A lot of bands I listen to that not a lot of people know are mostly just like solo artists. I posted about this guy named that goes by Stemage. His name's Grant Henry. He does the work for Metroid Metal and a lot of like his own stuff. And he just does like a lot of video game songs that he remasters and just does an incredible job. I love his guitar tone. You'll probably hear me say this name 1,000 times if you haven't already. The band I Am Abomination. I'm a huge fan of them. Not a lot of people know them. They're getting a little bit more spotlight now though, because the singer of that band is the new singer of Attack Attack, which I don't like at all, but he is a really talented singer. Megan Hayes says, if you could meet any of your fans, who would it be? Cough, cough, me, cough. I really wouldn't mind meeting anybody, as long as they're not mean. I don't really tolerate people that are just assholes. I mean, I can brush people off pretty easily. So I mean, if you're cool, I'll be cool too. So I wouldn't mind meeting anybody. But so far, I haven't come across anybody that knew who I was just from my videos. Andre Rice, I think it's Rice or Reyes, I don't know. Which of the albums are you most excited for this year? And talk about your expectations for Paramore, for example. Paramore is probably the #1 album I'm most excited for. They haven't put out an album in like 4 years. I've been listening to them for since the first album came out. I remember seeing the video for Pressure when I was with my old band. We were just fucking around watching TV in between songs, I guess. And but yeah, I'm pretty excited for the new album. I was a lot more excited before I heard the new song. I mean, I don't love the new song now, but it's not bad. I mean, I don't dislike it. But I have a feeling that the entire rest of the album is going to be very different. Which is kind of odd because I was expecting something along the lines of the singles EP. They had like 4 songs on that one, and I really liked all of them. I mean, In the Morning's kind of, yeah, whatever. But Renegade's awesome, Monster was awesome, and I really, really liked Hello Cold World. So I was kind of expecting them to sound like that, which wasn't really all that different from how they sounded before before the Farrell brothers left. So I mean, hopefully it's not too much of a leap, I guess, from their old style. I mean, I don't mind change, but too much change and I feel like you're not even the same band anymore. Other than that, other bands, I mean, obviously I'm excited for Blank. I don't know if it's going to be out this year. I know they're supposed to be starting, I'm pretty sure as soon as they're done in Australia. That's what they said before anyway. Mark Fairman says, why are you so fucking awesome? I don't know. I guess it just comes easy to me. Jared Dick says, what's your day job? I've said it 100 times. I really just don't feel like saying what I do for a job. I don't get paid a lot, but I do work 40 hours a week. It's not like I sit around. It's not like I sit around just playing guitar all day or playing video games. I will say I work in retail. It's not fun. It's stupid. I'm not good at my job, but I do it, and I don't know. I don't have a lot of bills, so that's why I always have a lot of cool shit. So that's pretty much that. I mean, people are always asking, like, oh, your mommy and daddy pay for your guitars? I mean, they bought some of them, like, when I was really young. But, I mean, like, even, like, 5 years ago or whenever I bought the Les Paul, I mean, I sold a bunch of other stuff. I saved money. I did all this to get my own shit. So, I mean, usually if I get something new that's really nice, it's because I sold something else, or I don't know. I mean, I get a lot of bonuses at work, which is pretty cool. I just got one for like 100 or for like 200 something bucks. So I mean, that'll definitely go towards the new amp that I want to get, because as you may know, I don't really like the orange all that much. I like the cab. I love the cab, but the orange head, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of versatility. So anyway, that's about my day job, I guess. Emilian, God, I don't even know how to say this last name. Kruzinski says, what was your first guitar? It was a Squier Affinity Strat. It was Baltic Blue. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't have it anymore. How old were you when you started playing? And what is your first name? I was 13 when I first started, so 10 years ago. And my name's John. So, Jon, not John. Mel says, are there no people in your area to make music with? I think you should meet more people in real life instead of the internet. I don't know, I meet people all the time, but I don't know. I mean, I've tried being in a few bands and it just hadn't worked out a bunch of times, and I don't know, I've always wanted to try and just do my own thing. So I don't know. Lately I just been doing like the YouTube videos and just not really focusing on too much more than that. I mean, I don't know. Jeff Harvey says, what are the 3 CDs in your disc changer in your car, or the 3 you're listening to the most? Well, I guess that's pretty different. I don't have a disc changer in my car. I usually go with my iPod, but I've been having a ton of iPod problems lately. I just had to buy a new one. Well, a refurbished one. But anyway. But because of that, I have had to put a few CDs in my car. The first one I had was actually a CD that my friend left in there like over a year ago, it was it was a CD he made of the Grand Theft Auto Vice City soundtrack from the V-Rock radio station. So it's like all 80s metal. It's like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motley Crue, stuff like that. Is pretty awesome because I do love that type of music. Um, After that, I listened to Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I haven't heard that in a little while. And then today I was listening to um, Foo Fighters, Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. Um, I mean, besides maybe like 3 songs on that album, it really just doesn't do anything for me. I figured I hadn't heard it in a while and maybe my opinion would change, but too many of the songs just, they start off too slow and they take too long to really build up into anything, and I don't know, it's just Wasting Light is so much better than that album. Let's see. Joe Mann says, what would be your dream guitar and amp rig? My dream guitar has always been a Gibson Les Paul Custom in black. I don't really care about what the hardware is. I guess gold, or I don't know. I don't remember what comes standard on it, to be honest. But it's like $4,000, and I don't need one. So, dream amp. I mean, I'm working on my dream amp right now. I my dream amp head has always been a Mesa Boogie. It used to be a triple rectifier because that's what Tom used, but I realized there's literally no point in having a triple rectifier unless I plan on playing arenas. So I really do like the dual rectifier, and lately I've been doing so much research on Mesa Boogies and stuff, and I finally learned about like the dual rectifier Roadsters and Road Kings. The Road King is a little unnecessary for me, but the Roadster seems really awesome. It's got 4 channels, which is really cool. That's probably the best part about it. And I could set 4 different channels to 4 different things. And the pedal, the foot switch that comes with it has a channel for, or has a switch for each 4 channels, and then a tuner mute, an effects loop, reverb, and you could do reverb for each section differently. And then I think there's even like another, and there's a solo boost switch. So I mean, like an 8-switch foot switch is insane. I mean, I've found a few used ones for around like $1,400-$1,500. So I'm gonna be saving my money for a little bit. Hopefully, I can get the orange to sell because I do have it on eBay right now. But I'll be keeping the orange cab. I really do like it. I don't see why it should sound much different from the Mesa Boogie. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than the Mesa Boogie would have been for a 2x12. But, so, I mean, that would probably give it maybe a little bit more low end, but it would have the same speakers in it. They're just Celestion vintage 30s, so I don't see why it would sound bad. I mean, an orange and a Mesa Boogie running together would sound pretty awesome, I would think. Alvin Mahia, I think that's how you say your name. I've seen you comment 100 times. And I know you've asked me this before. Will you try out an Axe FX 2 before you buy a Mesa? Probably not. I mean, you've shown me the link a couple times, and I mean, it's neat having so many different amp modules like at your fingertips and being able to just like dial in just any amp or whatever you wanted. But I mean, I'm pretty much an old-fashioned guy. I mean, I like just an amp and a cab and a guitar. I mean, I try not to have to fuck around with too much shit. I mean, that's why I'm selling this 11 rack thing right now. I mean, I had it for a while. Nobody on here really knew I had it, just because I just really didn't like it. I mean, it's too much to mess around with. I just want to, when I get my new amp, I just want to dial in my tones. I mean, it could take a few days, weeks, whatever. Find my settings and just leave them there. I mean, because that's what I do with the Valve King. I mean, I maybe changed maybe for like 1 or 2 songs that I've ever done. I mean, I think I changed from like my Blink sound to like a Rush sound like once or twice. I mean, for the most part, I have my sound and I just stick with it, and that's what I like. So I mean, that's why it would be cool to have the 4 channels on the Roadster if I do get a Roadster, or if I just get like a regular dual rectifier with 3 channels. I mean, either one. So I mean, the whole Axe Effects thing, I mean, it just really doesn't interest me, and I mean, I could see why it would have appeal, but I don't know, it just doesn't really do anything for me. Tony Black says, what's one job you've always wanted to have? I don't know. I mean, I always thought it would be really cool to just be like a studio guitarist, or you know, something where like a band will hire you or someone will hire you to just do like add stuff onto albums or do stuff for movies or music or TV or whatever. I always thought that would be pretty cool. Philip Cow says, do you like Green Day's new trilogy? I haven't even bothered listening to it. I was so absolutely disappointed with 21st Century Breakdown. I mean, I know I heard that the new albums are supposed to be, you know, kind of a throwback to like the older days, but I mean, it's not going to be the older days, and I never really loved Green Day anyway. I mean, I covered a lot of their songs, I know, but I mean, they're easy. But I mean, I never liked Green Day as much as I liked Blink or New Found Glory or any of them. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't really care about Green Day anymore. I mean, I'll still listen to stuff like Warning and Nimrod and Dookie and whatever, but I really just have no reason to ever listen to any of their new stuff. Byron, what a ass. I don't know if that's his real name. I doubt it. Says, you have a poster of DeLonge's custom Gibson on your wall. Are you ever going to buy one? I assume that he means this one right there, that little one. I actually took that from a magazine. I still remember it was a Guitar Player magazine, and it was in like 8th grade. I could. That would be my dog if you can hear him. He's an asshole. But I remember I convinced my English teacher to get subscriptions to Guitar Player because he wanted to get some subscriptions for a few different people, you know, have some magazines in the class when we were just having like our quiet reading hour or whatever, I don't know. And I convinced him to get that one. And when I saw that DeLonge Gibson in there, like that was before the thing even came out. And I mean, since then I always wanted one. And I still do want one. I mean, I would love to have that guitar. But unless I found one for cheap and I had a lot of money to just do whatever I wanted to with, whatever I wanted with, if without those circumstances, I just wouldn't buy one. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could still get them or order them straight from Gibson, but at that point it would probably be in the $3,000 range, and it's just insane. I don't doubt it's a good guitar, and I wouldn't bother getting the Epiphone because I don't know. I like to spend more money and get a better quality guitar. I mean, that's just how I am. I don't know. I've never really played a hollow body either. I mean, I've played maybe like one or two, and it wasn't for very long. And they're big guitars, so I mean, it would be really hard to get used to. But I don't know. You never know. So Landon Stark says, "Why do you think, or who do you think caused the breakup of Blink?" I don't know. They all had part to do with it. I mean, from what I know, their managers or whatever had really pressured them into touring overseas again, and Mark and Travis just kind of jumped on the idea. They were all for it, and Tom really wasn't because they had already been touring for the self-titled CD for like 2 years, and they were just kind of getting burnt out, and he wanted to see his family more, and it was just time for a break for him. And they kind of just gave him an ultimatum, and he said, fuck it, you know. I can't blame him for picking his family over the band, but I mean, the band should have been supportive of Tom's decision, but at the same time, the way they made it seem is that they were all talking through their managers the whole time, and they really should have just sat in a room and just talked about it. I mean, it probably wouldn't have broken the band up for 4 years. So I don't know. I partly blame it on the managers. I partly blame it on the bands just not hearing each other out, and I don't know. They probably shouldn't have toured, for super long. They probably should have just taken a little break and whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Jerome Stockton says, "What did you do to learn to play?" I assume he means like when I first started playing guitar. Um, a lot of people ask me if I've ever taken lessons. I took lessons for a little while. I took lessons from this guy for maybe like a month or two, and all he wanted to do was teach me fucking Beatles songs, and that just annoyed the shit out of me. Um, so that didn't last very long. I just didn't want to keep doing that, and even before that, I was still kind of learning. I was learning what tabs were, and I was learning very slowly how to use my ear and just kind of listen to a song and try and figure it out. Um, so that's pretty much what I did. I mean, I just fucking dog won't shut up. This is what I deal with. Um, so that's more or less what I did. I mean, I had a little bit of help with some lessons. I mean, I took lessons from another guy too for a couple months, but that didn't go very far either because I don't know. It was just such a pain in the ass, and I'd rather just learn at my own pace than try and rush. And you know, I don't know. I probably would be a lot better guitarist now, but I don't know. Um, Max Von Hagen says, "What album do you like more, the Untitled Blink album or Boxcar Racer's debut?" Um, that's a tough one because those two are like in my top three favorite albums ever. I'd probably say my top three are the Untitled Blink album, then Rush's Moving Pictures album, and then Boxcar Racer. And those three are just my top, and it's really hard to pick between them. But that's usually the order that I put them in. What's my favorite song off Dogs Eating Dogs? I get that one asked a lot. Asked that one a lot. And honestly, I still don't know. I mean, I love a lot of things about each of the songs. I love how fast When I Was Young is. I really wish they had played it in Australia. I don't think they played it at any of their shows, which is kind of weird. But that song's really awesome. That's the one I was excited for the most. When they showed like all the clips, I was really excited for that one. Dogs Eating Dogs is really cool. I just really don't like the bridge at all. Disaster is really cool. I just wish it didn't have just the same old riffs like how he does in After Midnight and Ghost on the Dance Floor. I mean, it's the same style riffs that he's been doing over and over again. It's just, I wish they would do like some cool riffs, like Anthem Part 2's riff or First Date or Rock Show, anything like that. I mean, I miss those type of riffs. So, I don't really care too much for Boxing Day. I mean, it's a cool song, but I don't know. It just makes me think of Christmas, and I don't know. Even Blink's I Won't Be Home for Christmas, I don't really love that one. I mean, I listen to it every now and then, but I wouldn't consider it one of my favorites. And then Pretty Little Girl, I mean, if that song did not have fucking Yellow Wolf in it, I'd probably say that's my favorite song. Because it's just got such an awesome vibe to it, and I love the lyrics in it. The lyrics are so cool. I mean, Tom just writes awesome lyrics sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't, but sometimes he does. It kind of reminds me of Good Day from We Don't Need to Whisper. Kind of just like the ambience of it, I guess. Ambience, whatever. I kind of mix those two together. But yeah, it kind of melds those two together, so I really like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, if it didn't have Yellow Wolf in it, I would like that one a lot more. Maybe if like Mark sang in the bridge or something. I always thought it could sound kind of like Feeling This, how he's like talking about um, like look to the past, remember a smile, that whole thing. So I mean, I always thought it could sound a lot better. Um, do I think that Neighborhood sounded like Angels and Airwaves? Um, Not really. I mean, the fact that they recorded the album separately, like Mark did his thing, Tom did his thing, Travis did his thing, that in itself was probably the main reason it sounded a little like Ava. Because they didn't really bounce any ideas off each other. Just like, oh, I'll write this part. You can write the next part. I'll write this part. It was none just like, oh, what do you think of this part? And Tom could say, oh, yeah, that sounds really cool, but how about we change this part just a little bit? You know, they needed to mesh together, and that's why Dogs Eating Dogs is already so much better than Neighborhoods. I mean, not that Neighborhoods was bad, but I don't know. You can tell who wrote what song and who recorded what song. It's so obvious to tell because it seems really disconnected. So, and then his fourth question was, what is my favorite guitar solo of all time? I don't know. I really don't know. I can name a few. Paul Gilbert has a lot of really great songs, but The Curse of Castle Dragon has an awesome solo in it. Um, hmm. Yes. Making a video.
While we talk?
Yep. Say hi.
What's up?
Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, that's great. I'll be up in a minute. Alright, so yeah, Curse of Castle Dragon is really good. His song Suicide Lover has a wicked good solo in it. I love that solo. Like I was talking about for I Am Abomination, I fucking love that guitar player. And he's also like the guy who records everything. I mean, he's amazing at what he does. He's absolutely amazing. I was gonna show you, or just play some clips of the solos I like, but my iTunes is doing stuff right now because I'm trying to fix this iPod and whatnot. But for I Am Abomination, The Deceiver has a wicked good solo. Their song To Rebuild has a great solo. Oh, I remember one now. Their last song on their newest album, it's called Persistence in Existence. That fucking solo is awesome. Every time I hear that, I just have to crank it. Let's see what else. Dave Brown Sound had a lot of really cool solos. I really like the one in No Brains. I just covered that pretty recently. What else? I don't even know. Let's see. I really don't want to fuck with my iTunes right now and screw that up. Newfound Glory, I mean, they don't have like crazy solos, but they always have a solo. If they have a solo in a song, it fits so well. Like the little solo that Chad does in The Story So Far is awesome. I love that solo in that song. Same thing with the song Sunny. It's short, but it's really melodic and it's really cool. It fits perfectly. I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously there's more. I mean, I can't think of a lot off the top of my head. Rush has a lot of really great guitar solos. I really love the one in Analog Kid. The Living End has a lot of really great solos. I don't know. I'm sure there's more that I just can't really think of, but that's pretty much it. So I don't know if I'll be doing another one of these videos anytime soon. I mean, I'm always on my Facebook fan page answering questions. So if you ever have any, just let me know. So thanks for watching.